All right, we're streaming live. Hey, what's up, the Florida Wrestling Room? Here we are again, and we have Nick Marcus, coach of Keiser. Obviously, his lineage here in Florida. He's got a brother that was a state champion, another brother that was a runner-up. So three of them came through the program. They all qualified for states. Dad is Ricky Marcus, as you know, who founded this room, the Florida Wrestling Room. He is stuck on a phone call. If he comes on, then we'll have him. If not, we won't. I do have people constantly sending me the next up-and-coming middle schoolers. So let's get their names out there. We're going to do a little, I'm going to throw them at Nick. He's going to tell us about him, who's next. Who do we think is going to be kind of that next big wrestler to come out of the state, big name? First of all, Nick, thank you so much for coming on, man. I know even though everything's virtual right now, you're probably still busy with recruiting and doing these and talking to your kids and keeping them trained up. Plus, you have your own club. I think it's called Top Tier. So I'm sure you've got kids there that you have on virtual and just trying to work it out. So how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Awesome, man. Yeah, for sure, man. This has been a great platform. I reached out to your dad. I was like, hey, I do these interviews on my side. I'd like to do some wrestling stuff. He's like, hell yeah. So here I am. So it's been good, man.
I love it.
Well, I know was it the first year of the program this year or second year? I know it's a young program.
So technically this was our second year as a team, first year competitively. The first year we just brought kids in, get them acclimated to being, student athletes at the college level, learning how to get balancing time management. That was the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. I personally think the curve from high school to college is time management, learning what to do at your free time. Normally high school, they're used to getting dropped off or taking the bus or driving themselves, being there from 7 to 3 p.m. And they're there 7 to 3 every day. And then they get out of school, that final bell rings, they go right to wrestling practice. They go from wrestling practice home. And they're stuck there. College, you may have a class at 8. Your next class may not be till 12:30. What are you going to do in between? You're going to go play Fortnite and hang out with your friends, or are you going to go get a little extra studying and get your classwork done in advance? So those kids kind of start to weed themselves out. Who's got the time management down and who needs a little assistance? And
yeah, which would kind of lead, I always ask the coaches, how do you get the kids to balance their being a student athlete now? Because before, like you said, it was 7 to 3, and then you go to your club or your high school practice, and then you go home. Now they have to balance between the academics and being a college athlete. And I'm sure that you expect them to do some weight training in the morning and then do some stuff in between, and not only just being in the wrestling room. So how do you keep them kind of focused in that direction?
It all starts with the culture and how you really carry the team and how the dynamic of the team is and the type of kid you bring in, and if they buy into the system and the culture. It all starts with the culture. And if they buy in and believe, they're going to do what they believe. They're going to trust you and do what you tell them to do, because they are going to believe the system, what you say is the right way to do it, and they're going to put their trust in your hands. And if they do the right things, it's not hard to wake up, go to class, do the classwork, show up on time. I mean, it's a lot easier said than done, but
right.
We all know what to do.
Well, that's cool.
And that all translates to the mat too. I mean, that's what I try to preach is, if you treat your grades just like you do a match, you spend all this time practicing for the tournament. Meanwhile, if you're not going to spend all this time studying for the test, it's the same thing. They go hand in hand.
So let's get to it a little bit. I've been sent a list. So I put out there that obviously the wrestling community needs to grow, and it grows from kind of the youth, right, in through high school. And we're all these local coaches have been building up Florida wrestling, and now you're seeing the grass start to grow a little bit. So we have some middle schoolers that are out there that people want known. So I said, well, send me, privately, I get message from people. I said, well, send me kids' names and I'll go over it. And so first, before I do this, and I put in the comments, if your kid's not on the list, I get the list from these guys. Please don't come after me. Don't come with a machine gun to me. Please don't curse me out. Just
Throw them in the comment section.
Yes, just simply educate me and put it in the comment section and just say, hey, my kid's great too. If that's
honestly, I'm sure I'm going to leave kids out of my own program and own club out of the list. I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to go to a club practice. And
as I tell everybody, I'm not the historian. I'm just a guy who likes the sport because my kid took it. And now I'm giving a platform for everyone to speak on it. So maybe one day I'll be able to say, hey, there's this great one young kid called Joe Schmo. That's awesome. But as for now, these were all given to me. Not my fault. I'm just bringing it to light so that we can have a platform where people can say, hey, there's this young Florida kid that's a stud, and that name can get out there and we can talk about it. So I'm going to start with the lighter weights with you. I'll throw some names at you. We'll see what you think about them, who you think can be the next big thing. A lot of these lighter weights are under 100 pounds, and they look like mostly all of them are sixth graders, except 2 are eighth graders. And first of all, I'm going to go through some weights that are still middle schoolers. At the end, I'll get to the private school list, which those kids are already competing at the FHSAA state level. So I know there's kids out there that have already won the tournament. I'll get to them. All right. So if you're ready, Jovani Solis is a sixth grader, gladiator, FAWA, Triple Crown winner, multiple time AAU, and a USA state champion. National dual All-American, Jovani Solis.
I mean, that's it. We don't need any more names. Done.
He's the guy, right?
Greedy, baby. I love me some greedy. No, Jovani's awesome. Little greedy, baby. I love both brothers, but greedy is a hammer. I mean, the last 2 years, we've got to see some serious talent come out of, year after year, it's serious talent coming out of South Dade. But last year it was Coach Balmaceda's son with Brevin. This year it was Coach Duck's son with Brett Lee. But I'm telling you, names to look out for are the Solis boys. And I live this life, and I'm the older sibling, so it's hard to say this, but the youngest is always woo. And
yeah, well, you have the younger state champion brother on your program, right?
Don't rub it in, but yeah. Awesome.
Okay, so now we got Everett Stevens, Naples Titans. He's a sixth grader, 2020 AAU, Ione Florida champion, 2019 Dixie Nationals champion, multiple time AAU and USA state champion, national dual All-American, multiple time tournament placer. Sounds like a stud there as well.
Everett, you can name any kid coming out of that Naples program, and they're going to be hammers in any aspect of wrestling, whether it be folk style, freestyle, Greco, or just training and period. Like, those kids are beasts. Coach Motor, Coach Use, it
looks like there's a couple of them on here. There's another gladiator on here, Johnathan Moreno. Crown winner, multiple time AAU USA champ, another hammer coming out of South Dade.
And Johnathan, a lot of people forget how young he is. He's been around so long that they think they put him up there with the older kids, and he hangs with the older kids, but they forget he's a sixth grader. The kid is a beast, and he hangs with the older kids, and that's the standard he's held to. George, what's up? If you're watching this, what up, George?
Yeah, there's a kid that's 11 years old. His name is Jaden up at CFWA. You've probably seen him. He was 32.
Yeah,
he's not a middle schooler, but that kid's gonna be. I can't go through this list and not mention him.
So I talk about Johnathan Moreno being only a sixth grader and being held to the standards and wrestling the older kids. Then Jaden, I watch him have to wrestle. He has to wrestle Johnathan, and it's the same thing. And he's up wrestling Johnathan, and he's 3 or 4 years younger than that. I mean,
yeah, he's a little stud, man. We love watching him.
The list is endless. As we rattle these names off, I mean, we can't get to enough kids.
Imagine getting to walk into that room, and sometimes on like Rumbles, and we get to see Jaden and Adias wrestle together.
I mean, if anybody wants to see some of those awesome matchups, go to any state champ camp at Coach Duck's camp.
Yeah.
So any summer after summer, when he brings all those kids into the circle and he hangs out the T-shirts that say Coach Duck State Champ Camp, and they go crazy to wrestle for him.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen some of the best matches weren't even at tournaments I've seen at that camp in the middle of a circle.
Yeah, I mean, as I go through this list, I know he's only a fifth grader, but I couldn't miss him. He's a little beast, man. I love watching him. I love the family, good kid. So we got Moreno. We got a brawler on here. Let's go. I'll go through them real quick, and then you can kind of touch on these weights and these guys. So we talked about Salas, we talked about Stevens, we talked about Moreno. There's a multiple-time state placer already in KJ Vazquez. There's a Charlotte multiple-time state placer and getting better now, that Wyatt Nevling. Johnathan Motor, another Naples stud, the FAWA Triple Crown winner. Multiple-time AAU USA state champion, national duel. And then we just spoke a little bit about Adias. Everybody knows he's a little stud, USA state champion, national dual All-American. We've got Liam Davis out of Bold City, Michael Kersey, the Naples Bears, sorry about that, and Sebastian DiGennaro, a little Barracuda out of 8th grade, multiple-time AAU and state champion. So talk about those lighter weights, man. All kids, you've been around.
Been around. I mean, I coach on the college level, and I got there by coaching at the high school level, but my focus, and anybody that I've coached knows, I'm a youth guy, man. I love the youth scene. I love my youth guys. I love my youth club. My Florida Pride wrestling camp is predominantly the youth guys. I mean, that's where I met 90% of these little kids was at Florida Pride camp. And then over the years, they slowly start to wrestle with me on either top tier or a Hunger Games All-Star, or where I help Coach Duck and the Gladiator dual team, or helping with the Heat Wave and Coach McCall. I mean, these kids are hammers. I mean, just looking at that list, I mean, KJ, I mean, I've been watching KJ way back when he was with Charlotte. I mean, he's just watching him grow, and now he's with the Brawlers, and he works with BB. I mean, and Campbell. I mean, stud, super stud. Motor doesn't get tougher than him. I mean, you already saw with his brother Christian this year at the high school level, knocking off the #1 ranked kid in the state. I mean, the Motors are as tough as it gets. There's not a nittier, grittier, and that's coming from the Marcus family. There's not a nittier, grittier kid than the Motor family. I mean, Sean, hats off, brother. That's all I can say.
So we see another Pat Ortiz bred kid coming through middle school. We're looking at another future state champ there. He's going to have a third.
You got Malik, you got Jacus, and then following right behind is going to be Adias. I mean, it all starts at the top. Pat, hats off, bro. All these parents, all these coaches, all these parents, what you guys are doing, keep it up, because Florida, we're only getting stronger. The youth that is in the scene is incredible, and it all starts with the parental support at the top. So Sean, Pat, as I name these parents for these stud kids, keep it up, guys.
Man, so Liam Davis, Michael Kersey, and Sebastian DiGennaro. I don't want to mess that up. And by the way, I say last year when I started doing off-season stuff with my kid and meeting all these people, I did ask, in Florida, what are the best camps? And I was told state champ and Pride. So what you've built up there obviously is being recognized. So I'll just throw that out there.
I appreciate that. I mean, first off, I don't want to take all credit. Coach Glenn Goodman, the first 4-time state champ in Florida's history, he really established Florida Pride, and it's been going on for years and years and years. And he put the trust in me to really take over and take the reins. And now that I'm fully in charge, I'm trying to bring it back to where it once was. And I mean, luckily, it was already something outstanding. And I'm just saying,
look at all these kids; they've all been through there, right?
I mean, yeah, it's insane. I mean, I've been through there.
That's awesome. So cool. So we go up to I'm sorry.
I don't leave out Liam and Sebastian though, real quick. Those two.
I was gonna say I'm sorry if I talk less about one than the other.
You're good. Yeah, I left them out. Sebastian, actually, that kid, that's the silent assassin right there. He, when I first started in the youth scene, I didn't really know any kids other than my couple club kids that I worked with the PAL program. So I went to an off-season program or an off-season tournament, and I saw this Barracuda kid. And I know the Barracudas because Port St. Lucie is just up north of us, and I know Jensen Beach is Hammers. And there was two kids that I noticed that I were like, wow, these kids are really about to be something serious. Because, I mean, they were just lethal on the mat, even as little kids. One was Tofi Minto, and the other one was Sebastian De Janeiro. And he only keeps getting better, and that was 6 years ago. So I can't wait to see what he does at Jensen Beach. Coach McMath creates hammers there. So
Wow,
he's
so
and Liam, I love Liam. Liam,
so should I do this to you?
Many years.
Should I do this to you? Should I say out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, out of these 10 kids, first one to win states will be?
I got to look at grades first.
That doesn't mean that he doesn't love you, kids. That we're just you're probably going to go with Michael or Sebastian because they're 8th graders. The rest of them are 6th graders.
I'm not doing it to myself.
Okay. All right. So we didn't get him to do it. We tried. All right. So now we got 100 to 130 here. I was sent. And here's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kids here. I'm sure there's thousands of kids out there that are successful. I just had people send me 10 or 11 from each weight class because we could be here for 4 hours, right? So we've got, and then I think I'll do it this way. I'll go through and read them, and then we'll talk about them this way. Or do you want me to go one by one?
However you want to do it, boss.
So we got Johnathan Brunner, an 8th grader out of New Smyrna Beach. He was the 2020 AAU Ione Florida champion. We've got Gabriel Tellez, 8th grader, AAU and USA state champ. We've got Luis Acevedo, 8th grade out of Gladiator, AAU and USA state champ. Draven McCall, a 7th grader from Spring Hill. He's a multiple-time AAU and USA state champion, a national dual All-American, and a multiple-time national tournament placer. We've got Anderson Heap of the Cowboys, multiple-time state placer. London Holly, Palm Harbor, AAU and USA state champ, and training FSGR internationally. We got Jaden Bowles, 7th grade, Citrus, all the same accolades. Sam Marvel, same thing, AAU champ, and so on and so forth. Gage Wiggins, 8th grade, Charlotte 2020, AAU Ione Florida champ. Demetria Zetropoli, I'm sorry I screwed that up.
Zertopolis.
Yeah, that family. Naval Bears, 20.
His older brother wrestles for me at Keiser.
Oh, okay. So you got it. Multiple-time tournament placer. A kid that I've seen wrestle, Marion Nelson, out of CFWA. He's a FAWA Triple Crown winner, a multiple-time AAU and USA state champ. Another kid I've seen in that club, Zachary Lewis, super tough, and he's a rising star, CFWA. They're saying big things about him. And then this kid comes from an okay family. Gavin Balmacedo, 8th grade, Gladiator.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know the last name. Even me, only been in the a little bit. 2020 Miami-Dade Youth Fair champion, and he kind of has some pretty good lineage there. So there's 11 kids that we believe between 100 and 130 that are tough. Talk about them.
Whew. You may have to start rattling some names off because the list I have here doesn't have all those names, and I don't want to leave any of them out. Like right off the bat, you named Landon, and he wasn't on here. And whoo, do I love me some Landon Holly, boy. So go through those names because I don't have them all in here, and I don't want to.
All right, so we got Johnathan Brunner.
All right, so I don't personally know a whole lot about Johnathan, but I know New Smyrna NSB. They've got a great program, especially a great youth program. I've seen them on all the East Coast tournaments. I see them at all the summer camps, so I know they're doing good things. So I can only imagine. I know Kyle Peacock came up through that area. So I can only imagine they're doing the right things with him.
Luis Acevedo, a Gladiator.
Love Luis. So my first time I ever met Luis, Elvis Solis got Luis on my team for a tournament, and he had never wrestled folk style ever yet, just freestyle. He weighed about 75 pounds, and he kept locking hands every single match. Locking hands, kept getting DQ'd. But can he throw somebody? It's been 3 years. He's about to be the next one of those next South Dade Hammers. Watch out for Lewis at 103 with South Dade. Big things.
Next year he's a freshman, so we'll probably see him up at the tournament. Huh?
That's going to be one of the few. Watch out for Lewis coming in at South Dade.
All right, we got Dravin McCall.
Yeah, Dravin. Another a big parenting plus. Shane, good job, brother. Dravin, I've been seeing him forever throughout the scene at every tournament, every dual tournament. I mean, everybody knows Shane. If you're on the Florida Wrestling Room, you know Shane. He presents literally every opportunity you could possibly think of for Dravin, and makes it fun and lets the kid have fun and every sport he could possibly think of. So he's doing things right. I can't wait to see Dravin get into high school when he starts really starting to grow and hit puberty. The kid's already long as can be, and he's wrestling. Oh, I can't wait to see Dravin grow and be a high school wrestler. He's one I'm excited to watch.
Awesome. So the next one is a local Kissimmee Cowboy, Anderson Heap.
That's another one I'm not too familiar with, but anybody that comes through that Cowboy program is bound to be tough. They are homegrown studs year after year after year. They're always in the top 5 as a team. So if you're coming through the Cowboy program straight into the Osceola program, you're tough, without a doubt.
You've got a Palm Harbor kid, Landon Holly.
Love me some Landon Holly. I coached Landon when I helped with one of the Gladiator teams at the Charlotte tournament with Coach Duck. And Landon was on the team I coached with. And that kid was glued to my hip. And I swear, literally since then, 3 years now, I feel like, even though he's not here, I feel like Landon's glued to my hip right now.
You got Jaden Bowles.
Jaden Bowles. That's a tough little hammer right there. I put him. When I talk Jaden, I think Jaden. I think Johnathan Moreno. I think all those tough middleweight hammers that just go to war. They're like little rhinos. Boom, boom, boom.
We got another. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't skip over. Here's another Gladiator kid, Gabriel Telez.
Yes, Gabriel is. I've watched him go from the little baby as he grows. It's crazy. Every time his dad posts a picture of him, he looks more and more like a little man. It's insane to watch Gabriel grow and how he's grown with confidence and maturity. I don't know where he's going to end up and what school he's going to go to, but if it's South Dade,
look out.
Wherever Gabriel goes to school is going to get not only a great wrestler, just a great kid from a great family that just with great everything. Love Gabriel.
Awesome, man. I love talking this because anybody out there listening to us, you can see that the future of Florida wrestling is really bright, and we'll go through some more here. I've got Wellington's Sam Marvel, Charlotte's Gate Wiggins.
Hey, Sam, that's my boy there. I mean, he's well. It's a team. It takes a village. He wrestles with Wellington, but I've known the Marvel family. I mean, pretty much my entire wrestling life. I've coached all of them at one point or another. I've had a very good helping hand with all of them. They're very close to my family. I'm very close to their family, and I love watching Sam grow. Are we still there?
Yes, sir.
Incoming call messed me up.
Okay.
So, no, I love watching them grow. Sam's brother, James, is in high school right now at Wellington. Sam's about to be in high school at Wellington. It's very exciting to watch. Pretty much all my youth club kids are all pretty much at the high school level now. So it's really exciting watching. So
speaking of that, I was told as we go through this, I was told that, and it's only you and I talking here. Nobody else is listening. I was told you may be able to get J.O. on here with me. Hey, nobody tell anyone.
Because nobody else is listening.
Because nobody else is listening. I've that's a possibility.
I'm trying not to bother Jordan too much with everything going on. We talk here and there,
Yeah.
you know. We normally talk
But
regularly, but with everything going on, just I mean, still up in the air. They don't even know whether they're going to wrestle the world team or the Olympic trials now and wait it out till next year, and then they already know the team. Or are they going to train and then wrestle the Olympic trials next year, right before the Olympics? Like, so I'm not even trying to.
Awesome.
Now,
Well,
I will put this out here. I am going to ask him because I do have to talk to him soon because
okay.
I'm trying to get him into Florida Pride, but nobody's listening.
Nobody, and listen, don't tell anybody either. We have a kid named Julian that's over at Cornell. You may know him.
Julian's a resident counselor at Florida Pride as well.
And I think that he may have a friend with him tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, very nice.
A guy named Yanni. You know him?
Who?
Yeah. There may be a Yanni sighting on that show tomorrow afternoon.
Cool,
with Julian.
very cool.
So don't tell anybody out there, guys. That may happen, but shh, it's a secret. All right. So we went over that. We got Gage. We got Demetrius with the name I totally screwed up.
Dimitri, Naples Bears. So first off, yeah, Dimitri's older brother wrestles for me. George wrestles for me at Keiser. I almost said at Florida Pride. He wrestles for me at Keiser. George, Dimitri, their family, outstanding family. I would have a million Georges on my team. If I could have a million Georges on my team, I probably would have been a national champion this year as a team. Great family, great kid. I've been watching Dimitri. First time I ever met Dimitri was at Florida Pride. I can't wait to see him get up to high school level with Coach Eisen, Coach Blaine, what they've done with what Coach McIntosh, what Coach Christian Suarez, what they've all done with him at Naples already. It has been outstanding. I can't wait to see him on the next level.
That's awesome. And then here's a kid that these next two kids, I see them because my son is at the club with them. Marion Nelson and Zachary Lewis, both CFWA kids.
So Zach Lewis, I'm not super familiar with Zach Lewis. Again, just like the Cowboys, if you're coming through CFWA, just the name alone carries credentials. You're not. They don't carry dead weight. If you make it through they're just through their practice, you're tough. So I mean, anybody that comes through CFWA. Now, Marion, I swear, I thought Marion was like 27 years old already. I swear I've been watching Marion wrestle for 30 years.
When I looked on here and it said 6th grade, I had to look again because I thought he was like 8th grade or something. I was like, is that wrong?
And he continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. When I first met him, he was up to my hip, and it's only, and now I'm up to his hip.
Yeah. And he's got his little brother rolling around there.
And another one.
Yeah, and I asked I asked Scotty Sentis if he's already tried to recruit the little grandchild of the Riveras yet. He says no, I can only do a verbal.
Speaking of Sentis, I'm gonna throw another Florida Pride name drop. There's another counselor at Florida Pride.
Yeah, we talked to him earlier. He was awesome. So good for Marion, Zachary, and then here's a kid. Not too much wrestling lineage in this kid. His name is Gavin Balmaceda.
Oh man. So funny. I didn't even know there was another Balmaceda. And then 4 years ago, I'm working Coach Wilbert's inner city Miami camp. And in comes Coach Balmaceda with Gavin under his arm. And I'm like, who's that? And Earl Hall's like, Gavin, his other son. I'm like, his other son? and we go on to watch him, and ever since, boom, 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 boom. Gavin,
he could barely walk
I haven't
then,
stopped
right?
seeing him ever since. Yeah.
He could barely walk then, right? He just kind of rolled him on the mat. That's awesome. All right, cool. So there's some studs between 100 and 130, and I expected this to be about an hour class here, guys. So I expect us to have a good one. Okay, we're doing good. You have to go anywhere? I don't have to go anywhere until I have a 4 o'clock with Connor Beebe. We're going to
I
talk
got
about
4
his,
o'clock with the Keiser Seahawks. So
yeah. So we're going to talk about his mats for kids. We're going to do an update on that.
speaking of Connor Beebe, there's another Florida Pride counselor.
Yes. And
Just
don't
keep
tell
throwing
anybody.
them up for me, and I'll just keep slam dunking them.
Olson at Strawberry.
You're breaking up with me. You're breaking up with me bad. You there? You there, brother? You got me?
I got you.
All right, we're breaking up. I didn't hear any names after BB.
There we
You
go.
there?
Yep,
You got me?
got you.
You got me?
Probably my internet. My internet sucks. Okay.
All righty.
So here we go. Some upper weights. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of these upper weights, and then we're going to get into some private
Some of the
school
guys
studs
wrestling
that have
high school.
already made a name for themselves at that level. So we got Johnathan Brunner. Oh, nope.
No, we hit him already, didn't we?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm at the page. Gunnar Ivy, 8th
Gunnar.
grade Clay.
There's another Clay Hammer. When I think Clay, I think Liam Davis, Gunnar Ivy, Dominic Martin. And there's a couple other names I'm leaving out. Clay Youth, I'm sorry. Don't kill me right now. Those 3 names, I mean, I've been seeing those names come up for the last 5 years. Gunnar is going to be the next Clay Hammer.
Another cowboy and another Gunnar Holland.
Gunnar Holland. I do know who Gunnar Holland is. I'm not completely familiar with the Cowboys. I know Osceola is tough as nails, but I am familiar with Gunnar Holland. Super, super tough. Super good kid, too. Great kid.
The next one is an up-and-coming kid, 8th grader out of Brandon, Gianni Maldonado.
Gianni Maldonado. So I haven't personally been able to meet him yet. I know he trains with a couple clubs. Coach Terry over at Top Gun, Strawberry Crest, speaks huge levels about him. I've heard that he's like the next big name to watch out for. I actually have had this comparison. I've heard he's the next Ethan Mohena because Ethan was not very known or noticed, and he was very looked over, and he was an absolute hammer. And I hear Gianni's that kind of kid that he was not well known because he started late, and he's about to take the sports by storm and just destroy people.
Cool, man. It's good to know. Next one is a Bold City wrestler, Enzo Gamba.
Gamba. So I want to say there's 2 Gambas, but super tough kid. I forget which clinic I worked, but I met him at a clinic. It was up north. I can't put a name to the school I was at, but super tough. Super tough.
We got Mason Miller at Manatee.
Mason Miller, all those Manatee kids. I don't know what grade Brock is in. I'm guessing we didn't leave him off the list because he's got to be a little elementary schooler. He must be way younger than 6th grade, and I'm probably going to get a message after this laughing about how young he actually really is. But I think of Brock. I think of where'd I go on that list? Oh, where'd my list go? I think of Mason. All those Manatee kids. I mean, Coach Goop. That's Manatee is one of the very first schools that I knew of as like a dynasty when I first started wrestling. They are who I knew of. The Waddles. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but Manatee, it was one of the very first schools I knew of as being like the team that pumped out studs.
Somebody just posted up a message, Marco Maldonado.
That's I believe that's Gianni's dad.
Oh, okay. So they're just tagging him. All right.
Yeah.
Vincent, we've got Vincent Donatelli, Alex Smith, and Cody Anderson.
So Vincent, I don't personally know, but I know him from the Charlotte dual tournaments. I just know him from wrestling against them over at other tournaments. Super tough kid. Everybody from the Northport program has always been super respectful and class act. So I've got nothing but good things to say about them. The other two names I'm not super duper familiar with. Well, I know Cody Anderson, Top Gun, obviously, because I do tons of work with Coach Terry, Coach Olson, Top Gun Academy. I do tons of, that's like almost my West Coast home, kind of.
Oh, your pops is trying to get in.
Of course he is, coming to the party late.
All right, so now we're getting into some real rifles already, some real big heavy hitters already that are competing at the FHSAA level, and you could probably talk more about these kids because they've done some awesome things. So another kid from the CFWA that we saw take the 106 state championship this year at 1A, Ethan Rivera.
I mean, CFWA, Lake Highland Prep, I mean, it speaks for itself. They, if they trust you to put you in their high school lineup, chances are you're probably going to win state championships.
Yeah, he has a brother that's an older brother that's really good too. I think we'll see and be hearing from him as well. I know you had mentioned the Solis family. We have an Elvis Solis that's already
EJ
at the
Elvis
FHSA
Jr.
level.
Yes, love me some Solis boys, Elvis and Greedy. Well, EJ and Greedy, Elvis and Jovani.
So
Elvis Jr., EJ, tough as nails. He competed this year with Somerset and Coach Blasucci to get some high school experience while still as a youth wrestler. But he's going to be one of the next state champs for South Dade for sure, without a doubt.
Here's a kid. He went 1 and 2 at 1A state championship. He made it, state qualifier. Gavin Nolan. I think we probably expect big things from him too as well.
Very big things from Gavin Nolan. I mean, his dad has Mike's taken him literally everywhere. He's put him in every situation, every environment. I mean, he's given the kid every opportunity to grow, get better, learn the sport while having fun at the same time. Kind of much like a Draven McCall and Shane. I guess actually makes sense with the Heat Wave and the Vanquish. They do the very similar same things. Gavin's going to be a force on the next level.
It looks like he's getting there already. How about this kid? He's in 8th grade. He was an FHSAA district champ. He was a regional runner-up. So he made it there. He's already got to experience the show. Multiple-time AAU and USA state champion Roman Lermer.
Roman, man, and he's tiny, and he is whooping kids. I mean, wait till Florida. Wait till Roman puts some weight on that body. That's all I can say.
Well, shit, the kid took second in the region as a freaking 8th grader.
7th grader. No, 8th grader. Yeah, 8th grader.
Crazy.
Admiral Farragut had 2 studs that were in middle school that went far in state for them.
Oh, we just want to let everyone know that
who'd Farragut have other than
Farragut
Lerner?
They had Peyton Kramer and Roman.
Hey, Ricky was making sure that Nick was on time, and
well, hold on a second.
48 minutes late.
I wasn't late. I'm working from home. I had a client on the phone. I was trying to get him off, but you got to make the money, man. I couldn't help it. I'm never going to hear the end of it from Nick. Never, ever, ever.
No, I know. That's why I had to throw it out there so I could.
Yeah, thanks for starting that. Appreciate it.
All right. We got another stud, Jace Paradon.
Yeah, Paradon's tough.
Paradon's a stud, man.
5th place already at states.
I feel like I'm repeating the same explanation for every kid because it's almost like it's insane.
Is Paradon, Nick, is Paradon from North Florida?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah, his dad's a real cool guy. I think he was a police officer, if I'm thinking of the right guy.
They do the Florida Georgia thing. They train with Clay and Cam.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of.
Here's a kid that I really know well. I know his dad well. he and my son get along real well. And I actually really, really, really enjoy his family. Caleb Lawrence, an 8th grader out of
Oh
Lake
man,
Prep, is just an awesome kid and a man, what a personality. Talk about him a little bit.
kid's great, dad's great, family's great. I loved coaching Caleb, but I'm gonna actually venture off of Caleb a little bit because you can't talk Caleb without talking Hannah.
This is what I hear. I hear that's the hammer right there.
Oh man, and she is a freaking character. She is so hilarious. I went up to CFWA and I did a girls clinic. Me and Mike were trying to work out something where I would go up there every Wednesday and kind of do like a girls practice for them and start something to give an opportunity for the girls. And literally the week after my daughter was born, and just the timing, so I was only able to make it for one of them, but the one I went to, Hannah was there, and she was glued to my freaking hip the whole time. I'm her partner. I end up using her to show the moves on. It was hilarious. She's hilarious.
They say Hannah may be better than all of them. So
I'm not getting myself in trouble, but yeah, she's tough.
I like
man.
to see those wrestling matches. Somebody asked, didn't Farragut have Fretwell too?
Farragut had a ton of kids.
Yeah,
I could only imagine what that practice room was like and the battles that were going on in there.
craziness.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So these next two kids, I mean, I watched them wrestle and they're unbelievable. This next one, I mean, he looks like he's 10 years old and he goes out there and just crushes people. Bass Diaz.
And wait, and not only is he young and in seventh grade, right? 7th, boss, or 8th?
He's in 7th.
Yeah, 7th grade. He won a state title in a big boy weight class, not at 106, which there's nothing wrong. If you win it at 106, that's great.
Yeah,
but at 132 as a 7th grader, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and he walks out there like he looks like he's going to the park to play with
Exactly, like just another day in the park.
Yeah, that was incredible. And the other kid on here is a Bartlett, Sawyer Bartlett.
Bartelt.
Love Sawyer. Love his sister. Love his dad. Love the whole family.
Yep. Another cop.
Can't wait to watch him get to South Dade or wherever he ends up at the high school level. He's already wrestling at Doral and kicking butt.
Yeah, I don't know if he leaves Doral. I don't know. Does he leave Doral and go to South Dade? Does he go? Who knows
I
where he
don't
goes?
think it matters.
It doesn't matter.
Wherever he ends up, I think regardless, he was raised that it's not going to matter where he was at.
Correct.
He ends up.
Somebody wants you guys to talk about Gabriel Tellez.
We did earlier, Gabriel.
That's we talked about Gabriel Tellez. I was looking at my list. Yeah, we talked about him in.
Yeah, I even shouted out Marlon.
Yes.
Shouted out Marlon.
Yep.
I have a special moment with. I have a couple special moments with Gabriel. Like, specifically at the Father Divine 2 years ago. Me, him, and his dad had a heart-to-heart talk outside the gym. And then 6 months goes by and he gains 12 pounds and grows 5 inches and becomes like a little man. But you say someone said talk about Gabriel Tellez, and even though we talked about him, when we talk about him, it makes me think about someone we did leave off who's on this list right here, Jose Gutierrez.
Oh, that's funny. They just mentioned Jose Gutierrez on the feed. It just hit. Amy and Willie De Armas are saying, "Hey, what about Gutierrez?"
Yeah, that's you can't talk Gabriel without talking Jose. And those are some of the kids that I met way back in the day when I first started at youth wrestling. And I mean, just people that make you feel like family. And I'm not even talking the kid right now. I'm talking just all of them in general. I mean,
man, how much fun has this been for the last hour? Just I'm learning. I mean, the only kids I know are the ones I've seen in Daniel's practice room with the club. And I get to learn about all these kids, about your amazing camp, about your clubs and all that stuff. I mean, this has just been great. And then all the names that are now coming up. And of course, we made sure at the beginning, Ricky, I told everybody, look, if your kid's not on here, don't stalk me or try to kill me with a machine gun, just put it in the comments. It's okay. We'll keep everything good.
We're just popping off the dome.
Yeah. So this has been fun for me. I mean, and to have somebody like you on, Nick, that's around all these kids. Amazing. I do love talking this with you. Now, a little bit, we have the Pride Camp coming. I saw your dad post about the Pride Camp. We have dates already set up, right? Right now, they're still concrete, barring any future delays of what we're going through.
Yeah, as of now, barring any more delays, if everything stays on track, we are a full go. Every summer camp at Weber University is a full go for the summer. So Florida Pride's ready to rock and roll. I've got an outstanding support staff. The dates are June 29th through July 3rd, Monday through Friday. Drop your kids off on Monday. You're kid free for a whole week. You get to pick your kids up on Friday at 11:30 a.m. and you still have the whole weekend for 4th of July weekend. You could still leave that Friday.
Ricky, don't tell anybody because this is a secret. And I don't think anybody's listening, but there's a possibility that Julian Ramirez and Jo will be coaches at this camp. And that Julian and a guy by the name of Yanni might be on this show tomorrow night, but I'm not 100%. I just heard that through the grapevine from Nick, but don't tell anybody out there.
But yeah, so those are the dates. The staff is, I mean, you heard me, every name you were rattling. I was like, oh man, there's a counselor. Starting at the top, Scotty Sentes, Connor Beebe, Earl Hall, Jabari Irons, Cole Mannion, Andrew Shearer, Omi Acosta, Enoch Francois, Blake Olson, Lindsey Dahl, Kerwin Adderley, fingers crossed with Coach Duck, Zach Sherman, Julian Ramirez, Dante Giovanetta. I mean, I could keep going on.
Another secret between us two is that I think your dad is working on getting Coach Kraus, but shh.
Oh, cool. Oh, and possibly. That would be, I didn't even name clinicians. That's just counselors I'm naming.
Yeah. So I know that your dad was working on that, but that's just between us.
There are a couple big name clinicians I'm working on. I'm working on Jo Kraus. I'm working on Dom DeMoss from Oklahoma. I'm working on Jack Mueller. I'm working on a couple really big names for camp. But and not only all those counselors, but we also have we're growing. Last year we had 181 people. This year we're looking to have 300. Last year I had about 35 girls. This year I'm looking to have 100. With that being said, I rented out the second gym. So we're going to have 2 gyms, both full of mats, boys in one gym, girls in one gym. They each have their own set clinicians, their own set coaches. They'll go at the same session time. So it'll all be one camp, but they all have their own designated. I mean, this summer is going to be off the charts. That's all I can say.
We spoke, Luis Acevedo. I see folks out there putting him on there. We did speak about him.
Yep.
I think did we speak about Elijah Perez?
I do not recall an Elijah Perez.
Someone's asking Elijah Perez at Abundant Life. Good kid, good wrestler. Yeah, this is great, man. Watching everybody do comments now while we're talking about this. So you've got that Pride Camp. That's awesome. Second season at Keiser. We spoke about that. You're doing big things over there. Another NAIA school in the state of Florida. I know. So now there's Southeastern. There's you. I heard that
St. Thomas down south.
St. Thomas down south is bringing on. So that's great. And, hopefully this is the next step to getting some Division I programs in here too. I'm sure you guys, that would only help your schools, right?
It's going to be hard, D1, just simply with Title IX. That's the biggest thing, really. Quite frankly, I think it's just Title IX is really the biggest, toughest part. And then conferences, it would have to be probably an ACC team, just because conferences, I don't see any other. It would have to be like a Florida State or something, just because they already have an established club and they're in the conference and they're.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Ricky,
tough.
I know you came on here towards the end. I don't know if I can hear you right. Talk, because last time you were breaking up a little bit.
I don't even see him.
I can't hear you, Ricky.
What about now?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, my headset's a little messed
I
up.
was going to, we've been on here a while and
I got to go in a minute too, but
But,
I'm going to blast off the questions.
Yeah, blast off the questions. And then before you hang up, Coach, please tell people why to choose Keiser University. Throw your plug out there and then we'll bounce. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate you.
Keiser University. Why Keiser? We are presenting opportunities for you guys to stay home, man. I was you not too long ago. My brothers were you not too long ago. You have an opportunity to stay home. You have an opportunity to stay in your home state, close to home, and wrestle and make history here in Florida, part of a family culture. You know, why not?
2 miles from the beach.
Why not? Why not you? Everything is the first here. You can be a part of being the first of everything. Why not you? I mean, we're a family. We're a great culture, tight-knit group. Why not you?
Absolutely.
That's
Thanks,
what
Nick.
That's what I keep telling everybody. Why not you?
That's it. That should be your
Trade
motto.
in-
Why not you?
Trade in all that hard work in high school that you spent wrestling. Trade that in for an education here in your home state. Be some of the first.
And
Why
just
not?
in case people don't know, Nick, NAIA does offer scholarships for athletics, just like Division I.
Athletic, academic, housing. We have bachelor's, master's, doctorates. We have graduate programs. We have graduate assistant jobs. We have everything you can think of.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to ask you 10 questions, 1-word answers. Ready?
I guess.
All right. Folk style or freestyle?
Free.
Headgear or no headgear?
No.
Singlet or two-piece?
Singlet.
Ice cream cake or birthday cake?
Ice cream.
Penn State or Iowa?
Iowa.
Saltwater or freshwater?
Salt.
Rap or country?
Wow, I didn't think I would.
Say rap.
I didn't think I'd ever struggle with that one. Rap.
Okay. Car or pickup truck?
Pickup.
I know the answer to this one. Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
Of course. And
My
I
pleasure.
know the answer to this one with your wife being a mermaid. Ocean or swimming pool?
Ooh. I guess I'll say ocean for my
Ocean.
heart. I hate the sand, man. I hate the sand.
I do too, man.
Hey, I just saw that Vanessa O'Farrell came on. I know that Jaden's not a middle schooler yet, but we shouted him out.
We still shouted him out because he wrestles like one.
We know he is, Miss O'Farrell. We know he's coming for everybody.
One thing I want to say, and then I have to leave. I heard you mention Fretwell earlier, Admiral Farragut, Christian Fretwell. That kid, let me tell you something. Amazing athlete. You know, I'm sure there were some wrestle-offs there. I don't know what happened, whatever. Maybe he lost a wrestle-off, whatever. That kid could probably start at 106 on any other team, man. That kid has a huge future. His dad takes him everywhere in the country. They've trained in Russia. I mean, this kid is going to be something special, and whatever high school lands him is going to be a very, very happy coach. So I love the kid. Christian is just a sweet kid, and he's a hammer on the mat. So Christian Fretwell, I just had to give him some props because he's a tough kid.
Hey, so I have a question. I have a question for you, Ricky.
Yep, real quick.
One word answer.
Yep.
I say Nick or Brandon.
Come on now. Nick, baby, Nick.
What was the question?
I said Nick or Brandon.
George.
No, I mean, what's the young brother's name? Braden or Brandon?
Who are you talking about?
What's your little brother's name that one?
Bryce.
Oh, Bryce.
Okay. Sorry, Nick or Bryce?
You can't do that to me, man. You can't. Well,
you can say it.
It's funny.
You can say it. It's okay. You can
Nope.
say it.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. You ready? Nick.
Yeah, okay.
Nick,
okay.
no, there's a reason.
Okay.
There's a reason. There's a reason for
Because
it.
Bryce is not on the call.
Because
There-
nobody's watching. 'Cause
No,
nobody's watching.
there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. Nick started it all for our family. Dead honest. Nick was the one that came home. I wasn't going to get my kids involved in wrestling just because of everything I went through with the weight cutting and the injuries. So we were a baseball family. We went to Cooperstown, played All-Stars. We did everything was baseball. And when Nick came home in 9th grade, he said, this coach, John Henry, plucked me out of the hall. I'm wrestling varsity 103. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So he started it all. And then from there, Bryce and Dylan fell in love with it. And that was it. It started. So if it wasn't for Nick, those two wouldn't even be wrestling right now. So Nick, although Bryce is the golden child, that is the family joke. But
Ready?
my answer is Nick.
Water. Here's water. This is water.
Here we
Here's
go.
Sprite.
Hey, you guys know a kid named Lex Strickland?
I don't.
Says Lex Strickland, second at middle school state championship. Cody Anderson, first at middle school champion. Both will be studs.
Probably. I don't know.
Is that Top Gun? Is that Top Gun?
I don't know. William Terry is the guy posting.
Yeah,
that's what I
Top Gun.
thought. Yeah,
Top
that's my
Gun.
Top Gun boys.
Yep.
Awesome. Well,
Let's talk
thanks
about
everybody.
Cody.
Hey, thanks for being on, Nick, man. This was fun. I'm glad that,
Yeah. Thanks for starting a freaking family war. Appreciate that, Dan.
yeah, no worries. Well, keep being late.
All right, guys. I got to get back to work. I love you, Nick. See you later, guys. Bye.
See you, Nick. Bye, buddy. Thank you.
Later, brother.